drilling for oil.
It's all about drilling for oil? What do you think this is all about?
It's about greed, selfishness, bank accounts, big banks, big oil, big business.
It's also about Islamic.
What do you think it's about?
It's also about Islamic lunacy.
What kind of Islamic lunacy?
Pentagon lunacy.
Traditional, rabid, 12th century, 9th century.
What would you be
Islamic
considered
lunacy.
about someone who might call you an Islamophobe?
That's unfair. I'm just being realistic.
So you think that all Islamic people are radicals?
I didn't say that.
A majority of them?
Certainly a significant proportion are signing up to ISIS.
50%, 40%, 30%?
Probably 30 to 50.
So you say 30 to 50%? Would you say 30 to 50% of Christians are radicals?
Yeah.
Do you think 30 to 50%
But they're not radical the same way.
Could you consider that 30 to 50% of Jews are radicals?
About 15% of the Israeli Jews are rabid.
Well, why are there less radical Jews and more radical Muslims?
Because they're not chopping heads off of people.
Well, you're talking about actions. I want to know what's the cause. Why are there more radical Muslims who are violent?
Why? Because it's in their it's in their religious doctrine.
Okay, can I ask you
That's
who you
why.
are?
Why else? I'm a smart, intelligent, informed person.
But can you identify yourself, who you are, just for the documentary?
No, I'm not sure you're making a documentary.
Oh yes, it's a documentary. I'm a journalist. I'm an independent journalist. I blog on Facebook and in Santa Cruz Indie Media.
Welcome to put this on, okay? And we're talking reality here. The tragedy is the Islamic world overall will not contain the viciousness of the jihadis. Lunatics.
So you think that jihadis are really an existential threat to America?
Absolutely. They don't want to share the planet with us. They've made that clear.
So you think they're really an existential threat to our security?
Yes, they
How are
are.
they gonna destroy America?
They'd like to bring weapons here and
What
poison gas
weapons?
and-
What weapons?
I worked in these things quite some years ago with the Pentagon. I know of examples we've stopped.
Well, you're saying they're a bigger threat than the Soviet Union with all their nuclear
They're a
weapons?
different kind of threat, but they're a substantial threat.
Well, why
They're
did they just
dangerous
become a threat after 9/11 and they weren't a threat before?
Because the Wahhabi schools had not produced
But they
as
were
many
produced by
graduates.
Saudi
That's why.
Arabia, who's our ally.
No, Saudi Arabia was funding them in part because they were frightened.
Well, I can ask you this: Why is Al Qaeda?
They were
Can
intimidated.
I ask you this though?
Intimidated to fund them.
Can I ask you this? Why has Al Qaeda never attacked any Israeli interests?
I don't know that that's the fact. Okay, I don't know that that's.
They never made a terrorist attack on Israel.
Probably because the Israelis have stopped it preemptively. The same way I know of 5.
And they never made a terrorist attack on Saudi Arabia.
With the CIA, down with the CIA, down with the CIA.
The nexus of your question doesn't flow.
Okay, so you're not getting what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I do know that we've got a serious threat here, and yes, it's important.
Don't you think that we're creating more enemies with these drone strikes and all this military aggression against the Muslim world that they feel like America is against them?
I think we're killing more enemies.
So we're killing potential terrorists.
No question about it. In some cases, we're killing real terrorists.
But we're also killing innocent people too.
And that's unfortunate.
So you're saying collateral damage is justified?
It can be, yes.
Isn't that kind of an immoral point of view?
On balance, nothing wrong about it. It's realistic.
So you're saying state violence is okay, but non-state violence isn't okay?
State-sponsored terrorism.
I'm saying we have a right to protect ourselves and our allies.
But don't they have a right to protect themselves?
Also protecting other Muslims.
But don't they have a right to protect themselves from us?
Yes, they do.
They're not protecting themselves from us. They're threatening us first.
But don't you think that we're threatening them too? You're just saying that they're an existential threat and we have to wipe them
They're
out.
an existential threat, and they're seeking to bring damage and death here in Western Europe and elsewhere, and also to other non-adherent the way they deem it required.
And you don't think that Zionist Christians or Zionist Jews are trying to do the same kinds of things in the Mideast?
No, we're not doing the same things. We're not doing what ISIS is doing.
With the CIA.